Thanks for joining me. Today we're going to make doll shoes for the American Girl doll, and they also fit any of the size 18-inch dolls. This is what the shoes look like, and they fit the little dolls. First, let's talk about the loom. This is the loops and threads long loom that I'm going to use. This is a clip that I believe was made for the Nifty knitter, the long Nifty knitters. I understand these are hard to find. I just so happened to find some about a year ago on eBay, but I understand that they're hard to find on there now. But I was at Hobby Lobby and they have this loom. It won't fit all in the camera here, but I'll just show you. It's a long loom. I believe it's 62 pegs, and this adjusts and moves up and down. So this loom would work perfect for this pattern. And that loom is by Yarnology. And like I said, I got it at Hobby Lobby, and it was $14.99, and I did use a 40% off coupon on it. And my Hobby Lobby is not large. They don't carry a lot of stuff, so if my Hobby Lobby has this, surely you that live in large towns with a larger Hobby Lobby will be able to find this. But this is a great alternative for when you can't find these, and I understand that people can't find them, but this would work just fine. This is not that hard to adjust. You just turn that and you can move this up and down, and I say it's not that hard to do it, and then I couldn't do it. Oh, there it goes. You can just slide that. And on this particular shoe, you do have to decrease 3 times. So if you want to make these and you can't find this, check your Hobby Lobby. Like I said, this was $14.99, and don't forget to use your 40% off coupon. And they may have them online. I'm not sure. You're going to need your scissors, your needle. I use this little dental floss thing to help me thread my needle. You'll need a crochet hook at the end and your loom pick. So let's get started. I'm going to lay these to the side here. Okay. So we're going to use 16 pegs, and that's going to be 8 pegs on this side, on each side. We're not going to count. This just snaps in. Like I said, it was made for the Nifty knitter. It does fit the loops and thread loom. It's a little loose, but it holds in there well enough. It's not falling out. I mean, I can't just push it out like that. So on this pattern, you don't count these 2 pegs. You're just going to count the side, and we're going to count 8. And during the pattern, we are going to decrease to 5. So I put a marker here so I'll know when I decrease 3 times and I'm at 5 that I don't decrease anymore. So let's get started. Now you can make these shoes any colors. You can pick a color for the sole of your shoe and a color for your shoe. So this particular shoe, I'm going to have a green sole. So you want to leave a tail, because you're going to use this tail to sew up the bottom of your shoe. So make you a slip knot, ever how you make one. I've made one several different ways. As I keep losing fingers, I have to figure out different ways to make them. So just go ahead and put your thread, your yarn down there in the middle. Okay, and we're going to E-wrap all the way around. And then just get your middle one and come down that side. Alright, and just push those down. You see how this is, the middle one is just a little bit back. You don't get these two here. So just push all your loops down. Okay, and we're going to E-wrap again. Guess I should pull some yarn out. E-wrap one more time here. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and bring the bottom loops over the top. Just do that all the way around. And we're going to go ahead and count this as row 1. So just push your loops down. Push all your loops down, and we're going to count that as row 1. And so now we're going to E-wrap again. And we're going to do 3 rows of the E-wrap. So that was row 1. This will be row 2. Whoops, that happens. Just rewrap it. Okay, now we've got 3 rows, and actually if you count your lines you have 1, 2, 3, 4, but remember we E-wrapped around the first one twice, so that's why you have 4. But if you have 4, that means you have 3 rows. So just push those down. Alright, so now we're going to change colors for our shoe. This color was for the sole. So just cut your yarn. You just want to leave enough that you can tie it in a knot. And then get the color for your shoe. And lay it in there. Ever how you like to connect your yarn is fine. Do whatever you're most comfortable with. I'm just going to lay mine in here. And since this will be on the inside, I just tie the knot and then I push it down the yarn as close to the peg as I can get it. And then I just tie this twice really tight, and then I just stick those ends down into the shoe. Now, your yarn is over here. We're going to just come on the inside and come around this peg. We're going to uni it. So, we're not wrapping it all the way around. We're just wrapping it around and pulling it. Not super tight. It can be loose, but not too loose. You just have to kind of get a feel for what's the right tightness. If you do it too tight, then your loops will get tighter and tighter. So we're just going to bring that around and do that all the way around. So we're going to do 3 rows of this U-knit. So just go around your loom. So we're back at our last peg. Pull out me some yarn. Now you can just push those down. You don't have to push them all the way down, but just give you enough room to lay some yarn on there. So we're going to come back, pull your yarn tight, and just U-knit another row. So this is row 2. And we're going to push those down and do one more row of the U-knit here. Make sure you have enough yarn ready. Pull your yarn tight. And this is our 3rd row. Okay, that was our 3rd row of U-knit. So now we're going to decrease. So we're going to push our yarn down. Like I said, don't have to go all the way down, but just give it some room to add some more yarn up there. And so we're going to pop our excuse me. We're going to pop our clip out and bring it up. And if you have the other yarn, you would just unscrew that and move it up to the next set. And you're going to bring these loops over to this peg and just bring that over. Bring that up. Okay. So now we're going to U-knit one row. Uh-oh. Well, I'll just put that loop back on. Sometimes I just get to go in and do things like that. Alright, so we're back again at our last peg. So we're going to turn this around. And we're going to decrease. Sometimes these are hard to pop out, so that one that you just unscrew and slide it would be easier. I was so glad to find that alternative because I see so many people online looking for this clip. And I used to, when I bought the pack, it came with 2 clips, but we had to move out of our home because of flooding, and I lost one of the clips during that time. So I just have this one, and if I lose it, then I won't have any, so I was glad to find that Loom at Hobby Lobby. So we decreased, and we're going to U-knit one more time, just one time. Okay, so we're back at the last peg again, and we need to decrease one more time because we need to come down to this marked peg, and that will be our last decrease. So pop your clip out, or either bring your clip up. Excuse me. Okay. Now we need to U-knit. That was our last round. So you might want to push those down just because of what we're going to do. You don't want them to come off before you get to them. And we're going to do a crochet bind off. If you haven't done that before, it's really simple. If I can do it, anybody can do it. So we can put our, we might need this to get some of the loops off. But get your crochet hook. It doesn't matter what size, just whatever you're comfortable with. And wherever your yarn is at the moment, that last peg, just take that loop off and slide it up on your crochet hook. Now we're going to wrap the yarn around that and just bring it through that loop. And then we're going to get the next one, and sometimes I have to use the pick to get the yarn off and onto my hook, and then bring your yarn over it and wrap your hook and slide it through. So now a little loop, and take this loop over that. It's really simple. It's not hard to do. It's a little awkward for my hands. I'm sure if you have 10 fingers, it wouldn't be quite as awkward for you. Bring that loop over, pull your thread, but you don't want to get your little loop here too tight so you can't get your thread back through it, but wrap your yarn around that and just pull it through there. Okay, I put the last one on. Okay, so I want to show you what we're going to do here. This is the back of your shoe, and we're going to just come over here and get this last little loop that was over here. And if you don't, just as long as you get something, it doesn't have to be like perfect loop. Can you see that? I want you to be able to see that I just kind of got that last loop again on there. So just pull that through. It kind of joins the back of the shoe together because there's a little gap there. And pull it through. Now on this, you do want to leave a tail long enough that you can thread and weave in. So whatever you're comfortable with. I kind of like a long tail just because I don't want to run out of thread. I'd rather just cut some off at the end. So, and just pull that yarn, that tail on through there. And this is the top of your shoe where your doll's foot will fit in. So you don't want to tighten that too tight because you do want it to fit on your doll. Just stretch out your stitches there. We're going to weave this in first while the bottom of the shoe is still open. So take your needle, and ever how you thread your needle, ever how you thread your needle, I have to use this little dental floss pick thing to thread mine. What I'm going to do is just take this and just kind of weave it in. Just weave it in. You do want to make sure like it's not all, you want to make sure it's in and out weaving. So just do whatever you want to do to kind of weave your ends in. Everybody has their own techniques for doing those kind of things, so I'm not going to tell you how to do that. Just whatever you're comfortable with. So I'm going to do one last time and then run back through that and make a little knot there. That just makes me feel a little better, especially with kids playing with it, that it's not going to come undone on them. So just cut your yarn, not too close to your knot, but in there. And then the two pieces you have on the inside where you tied your sole color and your shoe color together, you can just snip those. Okay. Now we're going to work on the sole of our shoe. Thread your needle again. Okay, so we're going to take the sole of our shoe, kind of lay it flat, line it up. Get these little loops down here. Now you want to get the outside loop on each side and just pull your yarn. And then just get the next loop and the next loop. Just keep getting those loops. Now if you have to go through the same loop twice anywhere to make yours close up, that's fine. This is the bottom of the shoe, so it's not that visible. And just keep going till you get it sewed up. And when you get to the toe of the shoe, you might have a piece there that did not get, so just grab that and any other loops there, because you don't want to have a hole right at your toe. I'm just going to go through a couple extra loops just to make sure that's closed. And you can stick your finger in and just make sure that you don't have a big hole there. Now it's sewed up, so I like to just make a little knot there, because like I said, with kids playing with it, I don't want it to just come undone on them. And then I'm going to take this needle with the yarn on it and just kind of weave it in and out, coming through. It doesn't have to be like any certain way, just however you're comfortable with weaving it through. When you pull your yarn, you don't want to pull it too tight and draw your shoe up. You do want to leave the length. You can make a little knot there, just ever how you're comfortable with your weaving your ends in. And I know everybody has their own techniques, and I don't really have a technique. I'm just weaving my end in. Mine's different every time. Okay, whenever you decide that you're comfortable with it, you can just snip off the, I'm going to make one last knot, and then just snip off my yarn. There's the shoe with the sole. And there is the shoes on the doll. So like I said, you can make any color to match all your doll's outfits. I used pink and lime green because she had pink dots and lime green dots on here. So I thought that would be a cute color for her. And there's the sole of your shoes. And then you can always add buttons or bows, and I will show you a few examples of those. On these I have a brown sole with a yellow shoe, and I added these flower buttons that I got at Walmart. So that's an option. Here's a different color brown sole and blue shoe, and I added a little button on each side. And you can stuff these with like cut up pieces of Walmart bags to help them hold their shape. And here's another shoe with a black sole and a white shoe, and I added some little bows that I actually did find at Walmart. And then here's this other shoe that I made that I think I have some more flower buttons that I'm gonna add on here, but you can sew little flowers on here, bows, beads, whatever. Dress them up. You can tie ribbons, however how you want to make your shoes. So I hope you have fun, and I hope some little girl enjoys your 18-inch size doll shoes. And thanks for joining me.